Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks?
Welcome to the Cam Shenanigans podcast.
You mean Shenanigans? Oh, you're talking about Shenanigans, right?
Where Mike, Trent, and Zach, and a guest will debate all things automotive.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Make sure to check out Cam Automag on all the social medias at Cam Automag. And don't forget to support our sponsor, Hustle Energy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Cam Shenanigans. My name is Trent. Joining me as always is Zach, and more frequently than our leader Mike. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but we've become the regulars around here, and we are joined by Besim Hojhalli. Besim, why don't you jump in here a little bit and introduce yourself, and then we'll kind of do a round table of what everybody was up to this week.
All right, so I'm Besim Hojhalli. I like spending money on cars a lot. So I primarily, for those who don't know me, I participate in autocross, NASA, doing next year time trials, and drifting as well, Salt City Drift. And that's basically my bread and butter there, motorsports, right? Driving. I have a YouTube channel where I document all of my adventures. They're vlogs, but I call them documentations because it sounds fancier. But I also do car reviews and DIY installs on that channel as well. And for anyone wondering, that channel is Besim X Cars, just my first name, space X, space cars. My background's engineering as well, so kind of a mathy name as well, with like the cross product of the two. So
very nice, and we'll make sure to include a link in the show description as well to your YouTube channel. But before we dive too much into your story, we usually do a little roundtable, kind of figure out what people were up to this week. So Zach, I'm going to let you lead it off. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to this last week.
I am preparing to move out of my shop, getting things cleaned up and ready to go, but ready to pack the Subaru up. It'll be a fun time. But I did have a quick shout out though. I think Lexi needs to go check her car. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. That was it. That was my day.
The way you described how that was going to go before we started recording was completely different.
So. I know, right? I was like, I'm on the spot
like,
now. I don't know what to do now. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. But
team building, and all of a sudden, just nothing. Just awesome.
And there's Andrew's response. There.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to spoil it now,
but you're going to anyway because
I'm
that's
going
what
to
you do.
I wrapped my buddy's car and his girlfriend's car in a whole bunch of saran wrap. And then we also unlocked and moved my buddy's bike somewhere else in his apartment complex and also saran wrapped it. This is why you don't leave me a key to your bike lock for your motorcycle.
Should make it easier to get the snow off, right?
Hopefully. He's already unwrapped it, which I'm like, just leave it sealed up for the winter. It's not going anywhere. And the worst part was, like, we were hoping he was going to find out on the podcast. I wasn't going to say anything until the podcast. He found out 5 minutes after we left.
Oh, geez. Well, that's no fun. And we lost Besim again, but he's back.
I'm back. I just turned off my Xbox I was running. Hopefully that gives me the bandwidth I need. we had like a windstorm up here in Logan maybe a month ago. Since then, the internet's been kind of shoddy randomly. So
interesting. Yeah, I'm usually good unless like my kids are streaming on one TV and then my wife's streaming on another TV. Then it gets a little laggy, but usually not an issue. So over the last week, I can't say I did anything exciting outside of the usual Christmas stuff. I've got 3 young kids, and my world revolved around that, and it was a lot of fun for them, and fun for me to watch them get excited about things. What about you, Besim? What have you been up to this last week?
So this last week, I actually went and visited my family in Palm Springs, California.
Oh, cool.
So visited them for a few days, road trip down to Palm Springs. I took my 128i down there. Pretty impressive, good road trip car. Honestly, if I'm nice to it, fuel economy, I can actually push 35 miles per gallon. which is absolutely insane for a car with the capabilities it also has when it comes to like autocross and track stuff. But it was just nice to enjoy the weather, 60, 70 degrees, windows down, right? Enjoying that kind of stuff. And it was really nice.
That's where AJ is. All right, he's in that area, so that works for him. So if he was in Utah, I wouldn't have done that, but he's in Tennessee, so.
Anyway, so I'm not sure if you guys seen this show Sorted on YouTube. It's been coming out recently. It's Rob Ferretti, Matt Farah, and it's a famous female YouTuber, Amelia something.
Amelia
kind of got together to try to make their own like TV show essentially on YouTube called Sorted, where they go to East Coast and West Coast and they compare cars. But not to go too into the show, but on the West Coast side, they go to Palm Springs, and the Canyon Road you see them using is the one I got to drive in.
Nice.
So Highway 74 goes from like roughly sea level to about 7,000 feet elevation in 5 miles.
Wow.
So a lot of wicked switchbacks. It's a really fun driving road. It's also a really scary driving road because any mistake, you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So I got to play around there, and then driving back to awesome road trip car, kind of doing like a little bit of a cannonball run to see how fast I can get from here to Logan, Utah, or from Logan, Utah down there. So.
Nice. Well, I can attest to the fact that the 128 is a good road trip vehicle. The first week that I had the vehicle, so I had a 2011 6-speed, and I took it to Southern California with, at the time, I only had one child. So one kid in a rear-facing car seat and 2 dogs and enough stuff for a week. And we road trip down there, and it worked. I mean, it was a little tight, but I was surprised at what it was capable of.
I will say the back seats are surprisingly roomy.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't think that for a little car like that.
They actually are. I've been in the backseat of a 1 Series, and they're not bad.
It's not bad at all, honestly. I was surprised. So.
Yeah. So we had Mike join us. Mike, we're just going the rounds of what we've been up to this week, and want to see how your holiday went for you.
It went all right. It was a little strained since, my brother's not here, and with my mom in the state that she's in, she's kind of, she feels like everybody should be here, and, things transpired earlier this year that prevented that. But we had a good Christmas morning. My brother got me a deep fryer, which I put to use tonight.
Nice.
So,
Hell yeah.
Yep. So
I can smell that from here.
Good. Smell the burned chicken. This turns out my $4 thermo pen knockoff from Smith's ain't working quite right. But yeah, then went around to all the girlfriends' places. Her stepdad got me a copy of Link's Awakening for the Switch, so that's delightful. Her stepdad hit me with $300 cash, so yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah, so and then spent the rest of the weekend just lazing about, not doing anything. So.
Sounds like a good week right there.
Wasn't too bad at all. And my mom's Christmas presents, I ordered her a couple things. They finally showed up today, so she now has a pair of Snuggies. Yep.
Very nice. Well.
Yeah. I also got this in the sibling gift exchange, a bottle of High West bourbon. So, which I'm drinking here.
I'm having the Members Mark purified water.
Yeah.
So.
I'm also drinking from the Shadowy Billionaire. Got me a couple things, including.
Hey,
there you go.
Yep. So.
Gotta have the Duff Beer koozie.
Gotta. Oh, so do you guys like the stuff I've put in the background?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I've mentioned it in the private chat, but you also have a hum coming from your area as well. So that's in your background.
So is it? Okay, I think I might know what it is, but it's going to require me to go get some paper towels and put them under the mic. So
You do that while I tell the good people where they can find
right.
more information about this this podcast. I'll remove him from there for a second. So since Zach and I are the senior members of this podcast, and that we actually show up every week.
What does that mean?
Since we are seniors, I am once again asking for your financial contribution to this podcast. And by that, all I'm requiring you to do is listen on the audio platforms. So we are on Spotify, Google Play, or Google Podcasts, whatever they're naming it now, Apple Podcasts, all of the platforms that you can think of where you would listen to this in audio format. We are there. And how that helps us out is there is an ad that runs at the beginning of it. You get to hear my voice, so it's nothing too crazy, but that actually helps us out, as well as liking, rating, reviewing. That gets us more eyeballs, and the mic is back. So that hopefully, that is better. It's gone.
Okay. Yeah. It's just a fun little vibration. So
perfect. Well, that's better than like it's your computer tower or something. That's like, well, I can't shut that off, or else I won't be here.
Well, don't worry. I've remembered when I tore into it last time to plug in the controls for all the fans. So I've got full on, quali mode here when I need to, and then turn them down. So
there we go.
Yep. Yep. So
got that turbo switch.
Exactly. Got party mode engaged.
Well, cool. So Besim was telling us a little bit before we actually started about some of his background, some really interesting stories that we'll have you reiterate here. Zach and I do have a question to go over as well, to debate. But before we get into that, Besim, tell us and our audience a little bit about yourself and more in depth on your background, and why is it that you have an obsession with 300ZXs?
So the obsession with 300ZX is just I like to inflict self-pain, but the only way I figured out to channel that is through automotive, and the 300ZX is the best platform for that. But so my background is I've always loved cars from roughly, I would say even infancy, from what my parents tell me. I've always had a toy car in my hands, right? Never played with action figures, always cars.
Oh, I'm sorry to see. Is Mike frozen? Because he hasn't blinked for like a solid 3 minutes.
I think he is frozen, or he's really into it right now.
Because I was freaking out. Like, I'm not getting any blinks over here, and it's really freaking me out.
I think he's just really into it.
Oh, we got a message.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Sorry.
So anyway, my background, I've always loved cars, and I guess we can do a quick story, my life story with cars. Always loved cars. Video games were, a quintessential part of that for a lot of people, right? That's an easy access to cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cars are expensive. A lot of parents are going to want to buy, go-karting, whatever it takes to go go-karting at a young age, right? Expensive, but video games offer that channel. So started with video games, right? And then at one point in elementary school, I hated reading. I wasn't bad at it. I just hated it. I thought it was boring. So my mom thought she would be slick about it and bought a car book for me. Now, some of you guys might know this book called Initial D.
Ooh.
So I started reading that at a pretty young age, actually.
Explain.
So I got it's the manga, right? The book, right? They call it mangas usually. So forgive me. Someone's going to be like, I hate this guy now. He can't get it right.
Manga?
Manga. There we go. Yeah, there you go. So I think I was in third grade, and I just started reading. It backfired on her because it didn't make me want to just read in general. I only wanted to read those now because it had cars in it. And then it was really weird to explain to kids in like fourth grade and fifth grade that I wanted an 8.6. Like, what? Why? What? Like, they're talking about Ferrari Enzos, and here's me with like dinky little Toyota, right? So that kind of like sparked like the interest in Japanese cars, right, and drifting. So in high school, I tried to buy a 240SX as my first car, and it was becoming at a time where Highway Patrol was really selective with 240SXs in California, actually, where they knew a lot of illegal swaps were going on. So they were kind of targeted, and my parents got word of that. So it was kind of like, well, we can't really let you buy that car. We don't approve it. And coming from an Eastern European household, the parents still have the say no matter what happens. So I figured 300ZX would be a good alternative. So I bought a slick top 300ZX, a hard top, 1990 model. It was an absolute turd. Terrible car, needed work all the time. I think that's where my anxiety started, was because of that car. Every time you just go start, you're like, "Will it start?" Right? But I learned a lot from it as well. If I bought a car that was reliable and good, I might not have learned as much about working on cars, right? And obviously, I picked the hardest platform. So from there on out, I came to USU for college to go to school for engineering. And after my first year, I bought a twin turbo 300ZX, also a 1990 model. Once I started getting more into track stuff and autocross, I realized the twin turbo wouldn't keep up just because it's an older car. It's going to need maintenance more frequently. Turbos add heat, right? And I just kind of wanted something a little newer and NA. So I landed on a 350Z, and that I still have that car. I'm actually working on it right now. It's in the garage right now, torn apart. Getting ready for the Salt City Drift event on the 9th. So I autocross, tracked, and drifted the Z and dailied it, because that's the 350Z. Its claim to fame is it's not the best at one thing, but it's the best at doing all the things, right? You can drive it to the track and drive it back home and drive it to California. I literally, at one time, I drove down to California, tracked it at Willow Springs, and drove it back.
Wow.
Problem free. So, and then during that time, I bought another 300ZX on the side with an ex-girlfriend. We broke up, so we ended up selling it. That one ended up being a 1990 NA model, just a normal one. So we've checked off slick top, twin turbo, normal NA. And just recently, as of last week, about a week and a half ago, I have acquired a 1990 NA 2+2. So
Nice.
And then on my YouTube channel, I have documentation of buying the car. I traded my Suzuki Sidekick for it with some cash on top. It does need some work, mainly a timing belt service. So anyone who's familiar with 300ZXs, they probably faint when they hear that. It needs a timing belt service, right? So, but that was kind of my way to shrewdly negotiate the price down and get the car. And I feel like I kind of saved it, because the kid, bless his soul, he's a nice kid. He didn't really know much about working on cars, and it would have been one of those cases where it would have got ruined if he tried to attempt stuff.
Yep, that would be me. You're talking about me.
That is me.
No, you've at least attempted a motor swap. It's like me.
Then I fucking blew it up.
Well, that was because you did a 4-1 shift or
No, it was a highway pole 121.
1-2-1. Okay,
I
yeah,
have a shirt that says money shift somewhere.
yeah. So that was idiocy. That wasn't incompetence. There's a difference. Like with me, it's like if I change an air filter, the exhaust falls off. It's just one of those things where it's like completely unrelated, but I just ruin cars when I touch them.
From what I know from you, you're the Jeremy Clarkson. You like using the hammer.
Yes, I do like using the hammer. I did finally attempt to change head gaskets on my Viper and completed it, and now coolant is leaking out of one of said head gaskets.
Oh no!
So gotta tear it all back down. So that's why I don't touch the cars.
Is it kind of like a Chevy LS platform where it's like the cam's in the block and it's like easy to access the cylinder heads?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not too bad then. I mean, it still sucks to do all that work, right, and then have that happen.
Yeah. It really did. Really did suck, but it is life, and you know what? It is what it is. So, how have you liked doing the YouTube style documentation of this car process?
I like it a lot. YouTube's a really aggressive place to be, though, as well. I'm sure you guys have seen some nasty comments. I have some videos where I have my favorite threads of comments, but I like it a lot. It lets me engage with a lot of people around the world, actually, and I can just make content for people. And kind of like I've been kind of branching out, doing a little bit of everything, where I do the vlogs, I do car reviews, I do DIYs, and I think that gives a lot of variety to people that come to my channel. So that's like one thing and then it just gives people insight. I try to give as much insight as possible, as much honest what's really going on here. Because a lot of times you watch a car review and we'll go Doug DeMuro. He goes around a corner at like 20 miles an hour. This car handles great. I'm like, every car can go around a corner at 20 miles an hour. Come on. Like, I need to understand the dynamics of what's going on. It feels like it pushes a lot. Or corner entry is shit, but mid-corner is okay. You know what I mean, right? So I kind of try to give more of the technical details and a lot more of a visceral explanation of what's going on.
Right.
So yeah. I've been able to give that. It seems like most of the YouTube audience prefers the like flashy stuff, though, the stancy stuff, the cool stuff. So, but I know there's a niche for that market in YouTube, so I try to cater to that.
Yep, that's good to find your niche and focus on that. That's what you need to do. Once you start appealing to the masses, then nobody's really served well by doing that. I mean, obviously, some people can pull it off. Some people here, even in Utah, have managed to pull that off. But yeah, that's the exception, not the rule. So that's very, very cool that you're dialing in on that and figuring it out. Every once in a while on our Instagram, I'll throw some of the hateful comments we get on what's been more of our I don't want to necessarily say the term viral, but it's one of it is our most popular video, 287,000 views or something now. It's just Zach over at SEMA, pointing out all the new Supras and saying, "Hey, Mike, is that a Supra?"
It's how, like
That's great.
you probably know is like we put virtually no effort into it. We were literally drunk around a table and said, "Oh, with tomorrow's video, we should do a little tick counter every time there's a Supra in the background." And I'm like, "How about we just expand it, just make it all about Supras?" And I think I had my phone and maybe a gimbal, a little phone gimbal, and I think I edited it in about 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and now it's almost 300,000 views. But back to what Trent was saying, yeah, I maybe check maybe once a week and I scroll through the top comments, and some of them are really funny. Like, I don't take any of it personally; it's just hilarious.
Yeah, no, I do that. I repost some of those mean comments or stupid comments because to me they're hilarious.
Oh yeah, and it's like I also love people who are clearly like way too into like it's a Supra, and I'm like it's clearly mockery. Like this isn't supposed to be serious. This isn't a review. This is just my dumbass walk around seeing me going, "Is that a Supra?"
Oh man, so many people miss humor on a lot of stuff. I'm like, you missed the joke there. My favorite is one of my personal videos. I did a Geo Metro review. So basically, my friend was getting close to graduating with his degree. He had this Geo Metro, $300 Geo Metro that got him through college, right? Absolute turd. I can throw the link in the comments if that's okay. The thumbnail is hilarious because the thing's flying through the air. The comments are hilarious. You watch the video and at the beginning of the video, it overheats. I'm driving at a 55 speed limit and can't even pass 45. Like I'm talking about this, and just an absolute turd. It was running on like 2 cylinders, I think. It was definitely missing one for sure. It had no juice at all. So the review was basically destroying the car, right? Driving it recklessly up in Hyde Park Canyon here in Logan, Utah. Just driving it like maniacs, right? Let's see. Let me put a comment on here. Let's see. How do I do that? I only get the private chat option here.
Send it to the private chat, and I can put it in the main chat.
Okay. There you go. Sent that there. And the thumbnail is just hilarious. But the big thing I got in the comments was so much hate saying I messed up one thing with calling the wrong manufacturers that it was associated with the Geo. But another thing was I had some people saying, you could have given that car to a mother in need. I'm like, it doesn't run. The amount of money you need to work properly for a mother in need would be more stress on that mother's life than actually not having a car. Right? So I got things like that. I got things like, you guys are just rich, entitled, spoiled kids. I'm like, ooh, I'm putting myself through college. What? So the car was destined for the scrapyard anyway. But we said, well, let's have fun with it before, because you're going to just get scrap metal money. It's going to be the same whether the windshield's totally caved in or not.
Right. So AJ actually had a question for you. He said that you were working on an engineering degree. He wants to know what your specialty is in terms of engineering.
Oh, I went all over the place. I started off mechanical, took an electrical engineering course. They make the mechanics take an intro to electrical. I had a real talent there. So I decided to switch electrical just for a higher pay, and I think I'd enjoy it more. And then I found USU offered an emphasis in automation, controls, and robotics. So that kind of ties both mechanical and electrical together, which I had that pre-professional program experience in. And I really like both mechanical and electrical systems, so automation controls does that for me. So I took that emphasis, and now I basically program robots and conveyor belts and stuff like that at work today. So basically I'm programming robots, welding, and automating the process. But also there are manual processes my company has where an operator needs to build things. So I'm also designing fixturing, or I'm creating presses to bend battery taps, for example. I work at a company. We build hybrid powertrain for aerospace and automotive.
Nice. Well, apparently that's what AJ says he's working on. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm not sure exactly what he was saying you were working on or he's working on, but it sounds like you two need to connect.
Yeah, I just say keep going at it. They're gonna have tough moments, but it's totally worth it in the end.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a brother-in-law who has been working for a very long time on a chemical engineering degree, and it's been kicking his butt. I mean,
that's wicked.
He's got capabilities to just get a mechanical degree out of the way. Like, he's just smart enough and knows enough about it, but he wants this chemical engineering degree, and he's been at it for several years just trying to get the prerequisites out of the way, and he's had to take classes multiple times just to try and grasp some of the concepts, and so
it's tough. It pays off, and you're working on the same. Looking at the comments, you're working on the same thing I did, and it's such a good field to be in. There is so much to do. There are so many places you can go with that experience.
Yeah. So AJ says he's working on associates in mechanical so they can get bachelors in automation and robotics.
Yeah, and you literally can go anywhere. I mean, like a big one that looks cool is like we've seen the assembly lines of Ford, Chevy, Tesla, and that's basically that assembly line is what I do.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that's very exciting. And you know what? It's not often that you have people that can find something in the field that they like, that they're passionate about, and they can actually use their degree. Like, I mean, it's crazy how many people I talk to that have degrees that don't have anything to do with it. So obviously engineering, when you're in that scope, you kind of need the degree to get the job. So
yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, cool. Where do you plan to go next year? You talked a little bit about, getting that 350Z back for the drift event. And you want to do some more autocrossing, but I guess a good question is, where are you taking this 300ZX that you just picked up?
So the 300ZX is probably just going to be a fun cruising car, actually. And I may just use it. I may repair what it needs and put on it for a little bit and flip it. We'll see if I fall in love with it. I mean, I seem to keep coming back to this car, so it's also one of those things like, if I sell it, I'm just going to buy another one, right? And they're going up in value. One on Bring It Trailer in very similar condition, but automatic, sold for $10,000. And where mine's manual, wow. I might be able to, I think that'd be reasonable. So just a thought, because, I think one thing I really need to invest in is a truck to tow my vehicles as well. I think that's the one thing keeping me from hitting that next level of driving ability, is having that in the back of my head to say, I need to drive this car home.
Yeah. So
that might be where that money goes to.
Yeah, it's interesting because there was a time where I was looking at 300ZX turbos just for fun, and they were like $5,000 cars. I mean, that's what they were. If you had an NA one, it was like you'd be lucky to get a couple grand out of it. And then they've just gone up and up since then. And a nice clean turbo car is easily 25, 30, like.
The record right now is $94,000.
That's ridiculous.
500 miles, right? But still.
Right. It's just that nostalgia is coming back, and that's where you have Integra Type R's that are going for nearly $100,000, and I mean, it's just some of the things that you never had that opportunity to get it at a younger age, so now you want it at any price, and
the bidding wars start.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's funny you bring up the Integra Type R. I had last year, my kind of project of 2019 was a GSR with a supercharger. But that's another story. Basically, I found one with a spun rod bearing as a GSR, but it had the Integra Type R front end, basically full conversion all around, all the parts for an Integra Type R. So it's basically a full-on clone. And that car was really fun. The only thing it didn't have was the B18C5, the Type R motor. It had the C1, which is still a VTEC motor, but at a Jackson Racing supercharger. And that was one of the funnest cars I've owned, and I really missed that car a lot, actually. It was interesting to drive this Honda that I could probably drift better than most internet drifters, right? Just because it was really easy to rotate, just snap off the throttle, hit full lock. It was just like that dynamic's fun alone, being able to turn with the foot pedal, right? And then with the supercharger, my low-end torque felt like a girthy V6, but as soon as it crossed over to VTEC, it was just a whole nother animal.
Nice.
But that's a whole other story. I mean, I could talk your guys' ears off all day about cars I've owned and all that stuff.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with Jeff Woodyat, who.
Yes. Oh, I picked his brain so much.
Yeah, because he used to have a Jackson Racing Supercharged Type R, and actually took that off. But I mean, it needed to be rebuilt, and he wanted to get back to that more natural Type R experience. But on that note, Mike is back. His computer crashed, but apparently he is back on his laptop now. So,
Yep. Yeah. It's
you got the blue screen of death there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's fun.
It was funny from our perspective because it looks like you're just staring, not blinking. I'm like, what? It's blinked for like. Oh,
I mean, Besim was telling a very interesting story, and you looked glued to it. So
Yeah, it
I was just
so-
going to let it play out, but of course,
But no,
Zach
it's
had to stop what we were doing to point it out. So
well, I want to make sure you weren't like had a stroke and just like froze right there or something. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering also.
safety concern.
yeah, no stroke, not yet. Blood's too thin
Zach,
for a
what were you
stroke.
concerned about Mike's safety?
I love Mike. I want to make sure he's doing well.
It's always appreciated. So yeah, we're on the laptop, the streaming device for when we do the Twitch Thursday stuff. So really pushing this thing to its limits here. So fingers crossed.
Yes. So, yeah, there's. You talked about Mike jumping in threw me off there for a second, but you were talking about your 2+2 is now going to be a kind of a cruiser.
I might flip it, but also, like you said, the values are going up.
Right.
And I have an attachment to this car, and it's one of those 90s JDM heroes, right? So it's like I also have an opportunity to own this car before they get like unfathomably expensive, right?
Right.
And I can convert it to twin turbo. People have found out you can actually boost the NA blocks. They're actually forged internals. They're just higher compression. With modern fuel and modern tuning capabilities, you can actually boost your NA motor. Actually, funny enough, the fastest quarter mile 300ZX is a stock, or the fastest stock block 300ZX is an NA block, making 700 wheel.
Interesting.
Alrighty. All right.
That was funny. It actually happened in high school, and I remember some guy just came on the forums. He bought a 300ZX, and he thought it'd be funny to just like throw a junkyard motor in it in big single turbo, just for kicks. Like this guy had like fabrication skills of a god. He thought it'd be funny to do this, and he ended up having one of the fastest 300ZXs in the U.S.
That's amazing.
So that might be the path for this car as well.
All right. Just big single and just see what happens. I
Yep,
like
big
it.
single. Maybe a rear mount turbo to make life easier.
Yeah, there you go.
Or
Really cool.
I've always had this like weird fetish with SR20 swap 300ZXs.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm here for it. I'm
As
here
soon as
for
you
it.
do that, you
Do
can
it.
fit both arms inside the engine bay easily.
Yeah.
And you shave off like 300 pounds from the front axle. So
Dude.
we'll see what happens. They'll take it easy.
SR20, S10, nose swap. There you go. You've made the perfect car.
That's my sleep paralysis demon right there.
Just an 85 S10. Just put the hazards on.
Yeah, that's just wake up in the night. Whoa, no.
Slowly creeping towards you because that's all the Iron Duke could do.
Oh, goodness. So you plan to do some more autocrossing next year as well?
Oh, yeah. So 128i, like I said, totally dialed for that. I'm trying to figure out what tires I want to run. And I want to try to compete nationally more. I only got to do one national event last year because of COVID, canceling events left and right. The one I got to do was in Fontana, California. And I made a mistake. I had two tires. I just bought a set. The car came with a set of Yokohama AO52s, which is like the go-to cheater tire right now. It's stupid fast. Then I bought a set of the new Falcon RT660s. I wanted to give them a shot because I've heard some good things about them.
Yeah.
So basically, I got into the Falcons. I did one event on them. I was kind of like, oh, I'm not feeling it. Like, yeah, they communicate better to me, but what I'm really getting from the communication of this tire is that it's saying, hey, I'm slower than the Yokohama. And so the Yokohama put about 330 seconds on them. I was like, okay, what tires do I take to my first pro solo event, right? I was like, Yokohamas are faster, the Falcons are new, but they're not as fast. Yokohamas are lower in life, but they should have one more event in them. Should have one more event on a smooth surface.
Famous last words. They should have one more event left.
Fontana's parking lot is so rough.
Cheese grater.
My first run was the fastest run. After that, I got slower through the day. I never do that. I corded the tires after one run.
Oh,
Wow.
Yep. So I
Lord.
was like, wow. I was trying so hard. I even got my reaction time down to like 50,000th of a second, right? Like the stupid low reaction time is just trying my best. And I mean, like, I got to beat some people at a pro event, so that's cool. Like to go to my first event, at least beat someone. But I really feel like I had what it takes to like get podium or even first with that car and just what I've learned driving it. So now I'm back for a vengeance next year.
There you go. And that's what we like, just driving with a vengeance.
So
Yeah.
I'll figure out what tires I want to run next year. Then I want to try to. The car looks like it'll spec into NASA TT5 perfectly.
Nice.
And I'm about, I think I said 8/10 off the lap record on East Course. I got to do a private track day with Ian Lacey Racing, and I timed myself with it, which is with a what's the data logger. Anyway, so I think that car's potential as well because I was on a 200 treadwear tire, and I think I have enough points to go down to a slick tire, but also I can still go to a 100 treadwear tire in the NASA TT ruling, and not have to change any points. I can go down to 100 treadwear. So
Oh, wow.
I can do that.
Alrighty. There you go.
Nice. That's exciting.
A lot of points next year.
Good stuff coming out of 2021 with that.
They're coming out swinging.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how?
Well, cool. So, like we mentioned, we usually have a debate of some sort on this program, and we've got a story ripped out of the headlines. Not from Dick Wolf though. But BMW, they have this thing that they do. They introduce entry-level cars, and then they keep making them more expensive, and so they have to introduce another entry-level car. So the 1 Series, the 128 used to be the entry-level car, then went up to the 2 Series, and then the 2 Series ended up becoming more and more expensive. So they had to introduce their front-wheel drive-based 228 Grand Coupe, which and then also the M235i Grand Coupe, whatever it is. But it's always been a front-wheel drive-based all-wheel drive vehicle. Well, they've made it more expensive. So what have they done? They are now introducing an entry-level front-wheel drive BMW, which 10 years ago was sacrilege, right?
I mean, I think it still is.
Yeah, a lot of people do. So
Are they calling it the half series?
good point.
Yeah, the 0.5 series.
Yes.
See, there we go.
That sounds poverty spec enough.
Complete
have
with
neutered
stick
it.
on M series badges.
Yes, we have neutered it just enough to still call it a BMW, but it's really not. So I wanted to have a kind of a debate, open discussion here on what vehicle is the wrong wheel drive.
Ooh.
As a specific vehicle, or what is wrong wheel drive exactly?
No, specific vehicle.
So like something that should have been something else.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Civic is like the first thing that comes to my head, but after owning and tracking a Integra, which is fundamentally the same, there are some big points to front wheel drive that are really fun, and the dynamics a lot different.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go as far as that, even though a lot of people are going to probably say Civic should have been rear wheel drive. They would have been a great drift platform, and I agree, but also they were drifting already.
Yes, nothing screams perfect drift platform like a foot-long wheelbase.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I never got to do that with my Integra. I wanted to bring it to a drift event just to kind of swing around just for kicks. Because I was able to link like slaloms of autocross, lift off into, the entry of the slalom,
Yeah.
stab the throttle, snap it the other way, stab the throttle, stab throttle. It was so fun. It was so different. Like, I loved it.
Would have been great, but I agree with Kit. Yeah, especially like the BB6. That looked like it should have been a rear-wheel drive car with that long hood and everything, and short deck and everything else. That had the proportions of being a rear-wheel drive car, but then H22 turned sideways in the front.
Yeah, so the Prelude looked the part. I don't know if I would have gone with rear-wheel drive, but at least an all-wheel drive platform just to get some power to the rear wheels. Just I think it would have made quite a difference. They had the Type SH, the super handling one. Like if you would have put their SH all-wheel drive system in there or something, I think that would have really been a game changer for that vehicle. Although it probably would have priced itself out of the market in the process.
Oh, it was already doing that to begin with. That would have been. I'm sure somebody out there has like harvested a CRV and put the all-wheel drive running gear under there to make their own homebrewed Type SH all-wheel drive Prelude.
Oh, has to have happened, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The car I think is the wrong wheel drive is the V8 series Audi.
Oh,
they're all-wheel drive. I think if you got an S4 with that V6 supercharger rear-wheel drive, you could have a lot of fun with that.
Definitely could. We definitely could.
The question is, does Audi know what to do with a rear-wheel drive car? I mean, granted, they have Lamborghini they could tap into and Porsche and whatnot, but I still feel like Audi would screw it up. Like,
I think the A4 platform or S4 platform could eventually be a good drift platform if it was all rear-wheel drive. Like they have good power. You could get the V8 series in a manual. Just send them apart the rear wheels.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the drift wagon that one time. It was fucking brilliant until it broke.
For 2 laps. It was amazing for 2 laps.
It was a riot.
So for AJ, who just came back, he's left us for a few minutes. We are talking about BMW is introducing a front-wheel drive vehicle. They've had a front-wheel drive based all-wheel drive system, but now it's forget the all-wheel drive. We're coming out with a front-wheel drive model. What car is the wrong wheel drive? One specific car. So far, the Prelude's been thrown out. The Audi S4 apparently is Zach's contribution, and Kit says, Drift Avant. I like this.
Yeah, Kit, how did you miss that one? I feel like that was an event that you were there for.
No, I think that was the first event. I think that was the last one before he was coming around. Because I think I was there in my Mustang. No, I think that was pre-Mustang.
I think so. Yeah, no, but it just felt like Kit era.
Yeah.
So
actually, no, that was pre-Cam.
No, it wasn't.
Or pre-me Cam. Pre-me.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I worded that wrong. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I think Cam revolved only around me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't work for them yet, Dave and Mike, and that was my first UMC event.
Yeah.
So apparently, Kit came in October 2018.
I remember that first event. I remember.
Yeah. Those were good times. Yeah. And I think that was earlier that year, so that's why I'm thinking you should have been there. So, but yeah.
So I'm going to be a contrarian here, and I think there is a vehicle that is that was rear-wheel drive that I think would have been better served as a front-wheel drive vehicle. And I'm probably going to get some hate for this because there is a lot of love for the Panther platform. I think it would have been better served as a front-wheel drive vehicle.
It would have been the Impala before the Impala.
Yeah, I mean, think of like all the Cadillac products of that era that were front-wheel drive.
I prefer not to.
I think it would have gotten better fuel mileage. I think it would have just been a better packaging experience from the get-go. I'm not saying long-term it would have been necessarily the best idea. I understand, why they chose the rear-wheel drive platform, but I think they probably would have sold more too in the fact that outside of the fleets, obviously you've got endless fleet sales with that vehicle, but then you also have people in the inclement weather that don't understand that proper tires make a rear-wheel drive car go in the snow. So I think a front-wheel drive Panther platform would have been. Zach can't hear this. I think it would have been a sales success. I'm not saying it's the best thing, but I think it would have been better from a sales perspective.
I agree on the sales perspective thing, and they probably could have yielded a better profit with the one thing that front-wheel drive offers is the modularity and packaging from the manufacturing cost standpoint as well. They could have saved money there at that point, which a lot of people have caught on to now. A lot of manufacturers have.
Because this is an argument podcast, I'm going to argue.
Hey, the engineer backed me up, all right?
Well, fuck the engineer and fuck Trent. You can't do J-turn. There's just, what? What's the logic there?
You can still do J-turns.
Okay, also, hold on. I gotta make the audience aware of this now. Trent stole my idea. My idea pre-podcast was, oh, that's a cool topic. Someone could be an asshole and say, here's a rear-wheel drive car, thinking front-wheel drive. But you choose the Panther body?
Man.
Please don't invite me back next week. Holy.
This is the best birthday present ever. Oh, man.
Oh,
I mean, on that, so at the time, what other like Ford platforms were big front-wheel drive sedans? Because I'm trying to think.
So at the time, you really had the Taurus, and that was their only front-wheel drive vehicle. But
yeah, because I remember like a lot of their like those old boats just kind of those things soldiered on forever and ever, and I'm not sure if it was because they were still pushing that Panther architecture, that front-engine rear-wheel drive thing, and clinging to a past that they could never return to, much like some of us are doing right now. Or, I'm not sure what the deal was, but it just seemed like for a while, like a little too long, you were able to get big rear-wheel drive Mercuries and Lincolns.
Mm-hmm.
When everybody else had gone the way of, well, turn it sideways and put it in the front, and then suddenly grandma has a hard time spinning out.
Yeah, I think it was, they developed it so early on, and they paid off the tooling, and they were just like, let's just run this into the ground.
Yeah.
We're still talking about this?
Yes, but we've kind of like shifted the focus.
Well, I think it would be a better car to have rear-wheel drive.
So listen, that's not a bad idea.
What about the Lincoln Mark 8? Wasn't that front-wheel drive, or was that rear-wheel drive too? Because that had the 4.6 in it. Hold on,
I'm going to look this up real quick on what might be my last functioning piece of technology I can communicate with you people with. Listen, it's either that or like we're all having to fire up PlayStations or Xboxes and get in a lobby somewhere so we can communicate that way.
Hey, I have a functioning computer,
We
so
do a Discord chat at this point.
yeah.
Or do we want to write letters like pen pal this shit?
Yeah, I will translate it and translate
there it is.
The carrier pigeon.
Ooh.
So I think Ford trusted the general public too much with rear-wheel drive, because I have a hard time trusting most of the general public with driving in general. So
the Mark 8 was rear-wheel drive.
Okay, all right. So I was wrong. It was rear-wheel drive.
Shared underpinnings with the Thunderbird and the Cougar.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Kit's comment about the Crown Vic being all-wheel drive. They did kind of do that with the Ford Taurus SHO. I'm not sure what year. More recently, that had the 5-liter EcoBoost.
Yeah.
So there is a spiritual successor to that.
That's the one you want to try to find at the police auction, like the sergeant cars, because those were all the all-wheel drive shows, not just the looking like show regular patrol cars. Those are the ones you want.
And inversely, also that would be badass as a rear-wheel drive car, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole show package. I'm not sure. Did they come rear-wheel drive in the show package?
No,
So
show for the
commercially mounted, right?
Yeah. So I mean, well, there's that dude down in Arizona who has the Coyote swapped Fusion.
Yes, I can't
Like
remember
that.
the name. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah,
Ben Sopa. I think it's Ben Sopa.
I think so. Yeah, so sounds right.
Matt
The
Sopa.
name is
real quick.
there. It is.
No, I follow him.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, like the current.
This if anyone's interested in seeing, because it's a pretty wicked build.
Oh, it's amazing. Like it is very well done. It's well sorted. So, No, Taylor, we're just currently talking about Ford products. We talked about other stuff before, but now we just kind of got stuck in the Ford ditch.
We got stuck on the
Ford
Panther
Flex.
platform, and Zach kept muting himself and getting rid of him,
Zach's been-
editing the podcast because he was so triggered.
The Ford Flex would be a fun car rear-wheel drive. I want a rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, there we go.
A Ford Flex would be cool. I mean, I think all-wheel drive is still the best move for it.
Platform. Sorry, I picked up.
I still think all-wheel drive is the best move for the Flex, but I would have fun with a rear-wheel drive Flex with the EcoBoost.
So coming out of the gate saying the Panther bike should be front-wheel drive is like saying we should have made the 488 front-wheel drive. It's the same thing.
It really isn't.
It really is though.
But you said the 488.
Sure. Any like
That's mid-engine.
Yeah, I want the axle through the front of the car. I wanted to drive the front wheels. I want a front wheel drive Ferrari.
Okay, so no, what I'm saying, no, okay. If anything, pick a front engine Ferrari. Then we're on the level playing field. A mid-engine car that just makes no sense. We talked about packaging reasons why a front wheel drive platform, Panther platform vehicle would be a smart move.
Okay, so let me clarify this. I don't think the entire. If you're just suggesting that there was a option or a low tier package that was just front wheel drive, do you think the entire line?
Should have been front wheel drive.
Yeah.
Just because you're attached to what they are now, doesn't mean logic should be thrown out the window. Okay.
You have to divorce yourself from feeling.
Remove
my feelings are valid. Okay.
Remove emotion from the argument, Zach.
Zach, your feelings are valid, and you are valid as a person, and we love you and your spirit and everything. We want you to live your truth. However, if you're gonna have a good debate, you have to separate your personal feelings and everything from what you're trying to do. And let me tell you, this can help or hurt.
I'll pull the meat out. Is that what you want?
There it is. Show me that honey booze.
Taylor said.
Taylor, yeah.
Now to add to that,
Del Sol
mid-engine rear-wheel drive.
Yes. Del
Yes.
Sol should have been mid-engine to begin with.
Oh yeah, it looks it for sure. And then Kit said rear-wheel drive Mini Cooper. Anyone?
That
That just
Well, then you just get a BMW 3 Series at that point.
there it is. They weigh about the same.
Because that's what's funny when you go back to the 228i or the new 2 Series of front-wheel drive. BMW has a in the closet brand for front-wheel drive. It's Mini Cooper. So why are they bringing front-wheel drive into the BMW lineup?
Why don't they just start slapping the roundel on the minis?
Yeah, there you go.
They can charge more for a BMW badge.
Yeah, that's probably true marketing. It's just kind of a stigma. And kind of one more thing, one off-topic gripe with BMW. M3, M4, why is it M3 the 4-door and the M4 the 2-door? Doesn't the M4 being the 4-door make sense? That one bugs me so much. I know they're trying to follow a number hierarchy to give
you know how I could have an entire hour just talking about BMW's naming convention. It just
If someone wants to make a cam bingo, one of the squares should be discussing BMW's awful naming scheme. If we bring it up, bam!
There it is. There we go.
yeah.
I think one, you kind of mentioned how Audi has Lamborghini. A lot of the Lamborghinis now are all-wheel drive, even though they're split 30-70. But
Well, you can still
I mean,
get
it's
real
gonna
drive
kill you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still get a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini if you're willing to pay out the nose and get on a list and probably not actually get it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like special editions. I've seen why am I looking through Lamborghini forums? Don't ask me why, but a lot of the guys from the Murcielago community, Gallardo community, actually delete the 4-wheel drive and go full rear-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the move right there. Come on.
Well, whatever they did the rear-wheel drive Bugatti, which is same thing, more or less.
Rear-wheel drive Bugatti?
Yeah, they pulled axles out and made a
I do not recall this.
I can't remember who did it. It's the guys that did the oil change on a Bugatti on YouTube. It was save 20,000. Yeah, that
Royalty Exotics.
Yeah,
Houston.
their bastard child of Bugatti.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of they follow the Porsche model because they just
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I gotta
They-
go. I'm so sorry. 911, make it front wheel drive. Why not? Or all-wheel drive. Make it
It
all-wheel
already is in
See-
reverse.
Rear engine. You
Oh,
keep picking the worst examples
I
ever.
want
Zach.
another. I want
But they're
another
hilarious.
959 right now.
Well, see, I keep kicking this idea around. Like the 911 is kind of real. Would not be a bad setup for like a hybrid thing. So you have like a hybrid front axle, rear wheel drive. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah, and that was something that honestly it's designed for. This 992 platform is designed for a hybrid system. So that it is something that's most likely to happen at some point when Porsche feels we're ready for it.
There's aftermarket doing something like that right now. I'm not sure. Have you guys heard of Vonnen by chance? Or Elephant Racing? One of the two.
I've heard of Elephant Racing.
So Elephant Racing has a spin-off brand called Vonnen, and they're doing something called Shadow Drive. You basically get any 991 platform, 911. Doesn't matter, Turbo S, base Carrera, right? And you introduce this hybrid system to it and gain an instant 150 horsepower, 150 torque. Motor that's in line. Matt Farah does a really good review of it on the Smoking Tire. You guys want to check that out sometime?
Yeah.
I may or may not know the company that supplied the powertrain.
Well, the world may never know. The
Um,
world may never know. Keep that poker face up, see. Keep it up.
So it's really cool though. Like they're using some really wicked batteries, right? The motor is about, I think it's 1 3/4 wide, and it wedges in between the transmission and motor, and takes place of the flywheel.
Oh,
And then you ditch your starter system because now you have an electric motor to start the gasoline engine, and now you have this electric assist engine that's directly in line with your drivetrain. So it directly
Nice.
adds to your powertrain right there. Super cool system.
those sound pretty sweet.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but for the new Ford Super Duties with the 6.2 V8, before they came out with that 7.3, there was a company offering a hybrid system where they would basically give it the fuel economy of the diesel, but add the power. Obviously, not quite as much torque as the diesel, but it was still a cost savings because the diesels are $10,000, $11,000 options now.
Yeah.
So Besim, aka Keeper of Secrets, says Kit.
I did not admit, nor did I not admit anything. I was still pretty cool.
So AJ points out that the old minis, when they came out, front-wheel drive was still super uncommon, and a running joke to play on your local mechanic was to take it in and ask them to look at the rear differential. And then I posted this up for a second, but we didn't talk about. Andrew Jolly makes a good point. 1 series, 1 door. That's how it should be on the BMW.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Is that as a one door?
Yeah,
Like a Veloster, but even edgier.
Yes.
yeah.
Just 1 super long door on the driver's side. That's it.
I did also want to add the Vanderhall's front wheel drive, right?
The Vanderhall
Yes.
is front-wheel drive.
Wrong wheel drive.
I would agree. That is wrong-wheel drive. They did it with the Slingshot, which is rear-wheel drive.
The Morgan's rear, right? The Morgan's rear is rear.
The Morgan's rear-wheel
Yes.
drive, even with its motor V-twin stuck right up front.
Yeah. See, at least we can agree on something, Trent. I don't think our friendship is lost yet.
Yet.
Give
Yet.
it time. It'll happen.
There we go.
It will happen. Thanks.
Hey man, just a matter of time.
Don't you still owe me food, or did we finally?
We go through this every week. I don't know. You want some food? Let's get some food.
I'm just gonna Venmo you $20 so you get some food and you shut up about this.
I want Trent to Venmo me $20.
Wow.
AJ says that his OCD is going crazy right now. I
Oh,
assume that's based on the door because Taylor Hatch says sliding door like a minivan. On the
Just the one
door.
one sliding door.
One.
Perfect. Front wheel drive motor. Jesus Christ.
Oh wow!
Oh, could you imagine the chain as you turn? You're just like, oh yeah, you've been turning too hard. Your chain's worn out. Or how you get the powertrain in the front.
You can have an odd number of doors, AJ. Look at the Veloster. 2
It's
on
there.
one side, 1 on the other.
It's there. That driver's side does look odd on the Veloster.
And
Don't think too hard about it.
Did I promise everybody food? What is going on?
Yeah, at this point, you see how everyone's reacting. You probably promised me food at some point as well. And I just missed it.
I owe you food, all right?
but aren't some like the early town countries just one sliding door?
Oh, yeah, early minivans were always...
Yeah.
It wasn't until you were born that, like...
Yeah, the dual sliding
doors came into fruition. Like, there was at least 10 years plus of minivans before dual sliding doors came into play.
Oh, I actually have a really good one that's wrong-wheel drive.
Okay.
The newest, highest generate or newest, highest power Teslas, rear-wheel drive.
That would be that would be fun.
Tesla will has a rear-wheel drive base model, Model 3, and it's the best handling, and out of all the Teslas, it just is.
Yeah, I mean, definitely helps. You know, don't have to worry about getting power to those front wheels, but then again, it'd be different. I don't know.
With the Tesla, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to delete all-wheel drive when they, it's...
Well, but okay, for like drifting and stuff.
Oh well, yeah,
We might have lost Besim, or he's really interested in this conversation.
Basim's getting on that mannequin challenge.
Hey, no stroke. Hey, good. You're back.
We're good.
Taylor Hatch has
we're fine.
Yeah, Taylor Hatch has a great idea. Camp Community Pizza Party, sponsored by Hustle Energy. So that means I just have to order one pizza, and then y'all have to come get it. So
we already agreed what my food was going to be. It was going to be Arby's. You drive in front and pay for my food in the back. We've already discussed this.
We have discussed this. And somehow you were just you're never gonna forget it.
No, I'm going to be like 40 one of these days, and then I'm going to be like, hey, old man Trent, where the fuck's my food at?
And by then, I will just buy you an Arby's franchise, because that's real,
Wait, I don't want Arby's? I don't want Arby's. I want filet or some shit.
It's like when Homer gets to the Denver Broncos.
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
I don't see what's wrong with it. Like, that's still a pretty big accomplishment.
Oh, Marge, you don't understand football.
The ball bounces off of everybody's helmets. Yeah, that good stuff. Anyway, so apparently nobody's going to make a Tesla, or nobody's going to drift a Tesla, according to AJ.
Or just going to buy a Tesla just to drift it.
Yeah, unless it's like 70 years from now.
Here, Tesla will.
What?
Unless it's like 70 years from now when they're phased out, and some kid with too much time and money is like, I'm going to build a Tesla drift car.
Because
I thought about hybridizing my Z just with some of the things I have access to at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that would be really cool, and one thing that my company got to do with Utah State was work with the EVR at USU, which is the Electric Vehicle and Road Development. And with that said, the guy who was the manager there was an electrical engineer. He managed this whole electrical vehicle road, did all the research and development on a bunch of cool stuff, like wireless charging for a bus, for example.
Nice.
One of his projects, he had a 330 CI manual, and he hybridized it and put it up to 400 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. And what he did was he cut a hole in the differential from the top and vertically placed the motor in the trunk and meshed a gear into the differential. And then with the throttle controller, you could rate your torque there. So he was still manual, and the electric torque was going directly to the differential to the rear wheels, adding torque that way. But he could also, if he wanted, he could also drive it that way and operate the electric motor alone. So
interesting.
I think that'd be wicked on like a drift car. Could you imagine a VQ with some actual torque? Like, wow.
Could you imagine a VQ running silently? Oh.
Finally, I'll wear earplugs when I drive it.
Okay,
those Spec Z races are going to be amazing.
So
there's
Taylor,
a Formula D team that did a electric Camaro. I think they weren't allowed to run due to safety issues.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a completely different argument, though. What Taylor's saying is Tesla swapping something. Yeah, of course, that's going to happen. Somebody's going to drift it, but nobody's going to take like a Model S and drift it because it's just too complicated. It's like you can't open your doors if you screw something up, you know. And
Well, you got to convert it to Linux first, and then you should be fine.
There you go.
There it is. Just pop that thumb drive in there, boot from there, and away you go.
I'm running Kali Linux on my Tesla.
And see, I just want my drift car to work, so I'm running Mac OS. So.
And then also it's going to be like, oh, you're rendering a video. I'm going to crash right now.
Yeah.
Or
70 years from now, it's not
or-
going to be dangerous LS. It's what your OS is.
Meanwhile, I'm in the garage saying next event because Windows keeps fucking blue screening on me.
I'm running DOS, it's all command line. It works great.
Oh, yeah, I agree with AJ though. Nobody would run an actual Tesla unless they were just doing it for fun, do it once or twice or something. But yeah, Windows 7 drift car, I love it, Kit.
XP,
Fuck.
nothing.
Fuck that 3.1, baby. Kick it old school.
It's called any BMW with an N54. That's a Windows 7 drift car.
Shit. What?
Oh, my electric water pump failed again. Damn it.
Oh goodness, yeah. So we were talking about wrong wheel drive, right?
Yep. I like where this went.
Not wrong operating systems and whatnot.
They're all wrong.
It is all wrong, but anyway, any other vehicles that you can think of that that are wrong wheel drive?
Something that comes to mind, I think the Porsche idea is interesting. Being rear engine and imagine it being front wheel drive, right? Because Porsches have that dynamic where they have so much weight over the rear axle, it's really easy to swing that out, right? And it takes a totally different driving style to manage that weight balance. But what if you're front wheel drive, right? You have a tight corner, you lift off throttle, you get that weight, that polar moment in the rear to swing out, and now you can have all your torque in the front and really just dig right out, right? I don't know, just a concept to think about.
Wow, Besim, I'm
It's a very odd
conflicted.
idea.
I'm conflicted. I mean, what happens to the only trunk space you have?
We'll worry about that later.
Spoken like a true engineer.
There it is.
Have you seen the trunk space on a Pontiac Solstice, for example?
Oh, yes.
You can fit an umbrella.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Right.
there's more room in the glove box. I put the umbrella in the glove box.
Well, that would be one of those compact ones that folds up. Yeah.
When your umbrella is really just a hat.
Yeah.
My Mustang being convertible, I fit 4 longboards back there. I'm impressed with that.
So Taylor doesn't like that Besim has actual driving knowledge and explains why a front-wheel drive Porsche 911 would be a good idea.
Yeah, how fucking dare you, Besim, come here with knowledge?
I'll come back with the opposite of that. I'll come back with like, my car won't drift. Let me turn harder.
There it is.
I'm going to disagree with Kit here. Should have made the GTO all-wheel drive, honestly. I think that defeats the purpose of, a muscle car. It's like, you got to have big smoky burnouts. Like, that's what it was good for. I mean,
Which is why it should have been an LS4 front wheel drive like the Impala SS.
I gotta leave this again. Holy fuck.
Good call.
Yeah, I'm gonna give up my amazing streak of being on this podcast because of this.
see ya.
Could have called the all-wheel drive GTO the Manal wheel drive. Get it? Because it was a Monaro.
Oh, Mike.
See, Trent, you should have never encouraged me to come back. Should have just let me be. Should have just let me be.
All I said was, who's coming on tomorrow? And you volunteered, so.
No, I mean when the computer died.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. My computer is crashing. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Here, I'll take care of that for you.
Bam. Get wrecked.
Don't add me back. Where's my mouse? Hold on, where's my mouse?
Where's my...
All right. Well, Zach hates us all for any time we talk about making a rear wheel drive, front wheel drive. So let's. What does Zach love most? Like,
Dotson.
we talk-
You say front wheel Dotson.
what about
Wait.
instead of an FD RX-7, it's an FWD RX-7.
An FFRX7?
FR7.
Huh?
You would think that
You know what?
is dynamics of the car. You just take that engine and it's not that big, right?
Right.
See, guys, we almost had this actually happen. Because remember, the Mustang, the thing we know and love is the rear-wheel drive crowd killer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the Probe because that was supposed to be the new Mustang.
Oh,
Front-wheel
right.
drive, V6, weirdly shaped, appealed to the wrong people in high school.
It appealed to some.
It's
I think we can say that.
It definitely appealed to the people that are now like living in a single wide and are a pin on a map.
Oh, that's profiling. Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry, just the second part. Come at me.
Oh man.
But now I can go to Ford Pro because you're going to assume things about me that aren't correct.
Yeah, see, the Ford Probe should have been rear wheel drive.
It should have been.
Ford Probe RS, an all wheel drive version of it.
Were we trusting early 90s Ford to make something cool?
They're still coming off their cocaine binge. They wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah. No, it would have been terrible. Your all-wheel drive Probe would have wound up being front-wheel drive.
So, has there ever been a mid-engine rotary car before? I'm trying to think. I mean,
No.
rear mid-engine, not because I think technically rotary cars are technically midship because they're
The DeLorean was supposed to be, but that got canceled pretty quickly. And then there was the Zora that contemplated rotaries. I did contemplate putting an NA13B in my MR2.
okay. That's pretty wicked. I mean, I think I've reduced that polar moment of the car a lot also because you just shave so much weight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Were fitment issues, and then money issues, and then lots of all the other issues.
All the issues.
I have to keep this up because AJ, my wife, says this all the time. Stereotypes are based on fact.
Stereotypes are based on fact, and every joke has an element of truth. So, just you remember that, people.
But he also says he'd be down for an all-wheel drive Probe.
So, front-wheel drive Probe.
I want to check what Besim said. I think a rotary front-wheel drive car would be a lot of fun. Like, I don't know what you like a Mazda 3 maybe.
Yeah, three. Think about it. One thing front-wheel drive suffers from is all your weight's in the front now, so you put an overload on the front axle, right? But rotaries don't weigh that much. Does that counteract a little bit?
Yeah, a fully built keg weighs like 120 pounds maybe. If
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe. Who knows? We need rotaries to be reliable enough, though. Because most front-wheel drive is thinking of being reliable. And rotaries, man, I've got a rotary story for you guys. I'm not sure how much time we have, but.
Well, we're over.
Just send it, dude.
Just
Let it fly.
Run it, yeah.
Ian Lacey Racing, private track day.
I have
The
a
track engineer has an RX-8 that he just is a track beater. And he was like, you want to drive it? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to drive it. I got a track to myself, and I can drive someone else's car? Cool. So he's like, yeah, I was just having overheating issues. The chassis dialed in, but it overheats. It's hot. It was like 95 degrees that day at UMC. And he told me, he's like, just take it really easy in your out lap, and you can do like 1.5 flying laps, and then it'll hit 240 degrees. I'm like, cool. So I'm taking it really easy. Then as soon as I'm coming around the last turn of East Course, give it some throttle, I'm ready to go. Car dies, and I roll it into the pits. And that was just a sign from the universe to never drive a rotary again because I hate them and they're ugly and stupid.
As a rotary guy, I have things to say here. A low-power, well-built turboed rotary 13B could be a very, 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 very reliable car. Anything in RX-8 is absolute dog shit. The Renesis can go fucking something. And then
Not itself, but something.
I don't know, an LS. It can go fucking LS. There we go. But people are trying to go for achieve this like crazy like high like pushing the boundaries, and that's why there's issues.
Okay, do you have an example of somebody who's built a reliable one?
No, because they're all going for high horsepower numbers. I do. What's his name? He has an NA FB. Turning a Holly Dominator. I think he rebuilt it when he bought it, and it's been running ever since. And he races it every weekend. What the fuck's his name? Good to a whole bunch of meets. Good kid though. I can't remember what his name is. Tall, long.
So AJ's on the thread of you couldn't actually mount a rotary sideways, and he's saying because they're tall and long, you couldn't fit a trans under it or behind it. You have to mount the trans to the side of it. And Andrew Jolly says tall, long.
Okay, a rotary. If you do a sump, you can put it any direction you want. It doesn't matter which way it goes. You got to make sure you get oil in there. But the crank, there's no crank, doesn't pick up oil. So it's already just fed by an oil pump. So it doesn't really, the oil pan in a rotary is basically just a storage.
Taylor Hatch has a perfect point. Why even bother when there are other motors that work so much better?
Rotary are cool, damn it. That's why.
Because who doesn't like making peak torque at 10,000 RPM?
Exactly.
Hey, there's an idea for you, Besim. Rotary swap the 300Z.
It might be more reliable. Who knows?
That would be for sure like easier to work on.
You know, that reminds me, back in high school when I blew the motor in my 300ZX, and down the street I had a friend who had a B16 laying around. So when we had the motor out, we put the B16 to set it in there. I wish I could find it. It's somewhere in the forums deep years ago. And I mean, 300ZX forum guys are like the really old guys that are like, get up by anything. Oh man, that started a war on the internet.
Oh boy.
B16 300ZX.
That would be amazing. Oh, that would be great.
Well,
maybe I'll do a K swap, a K24 swap in this one.
Yeah, there you go. Get on that one. It's been in a lot of other Nissan platforms. Why not this one?
300.
Back to AJ's thing. So with my MR2, we actually did some measurements. Like it was napkin math with a ruler. It wasn't anything precise. But a rotary would fit in there. We just had issues with the oil pan. It was the right space to fit in there. We just had to worry about intake and exhaust manifolds.
And getting onto that front-wheel drive rotary thing, there was a Nori Yaro video recently where he went to like a rotary meetup, and there was some weird. It was like a Renault or a Peugeot or something that had a rotary in it. It was some weird, like super rare thing, and I can't remember if it was front-wheel drive or not, but it had a rotary in it.
Huh.
So I know it might have actually happened. So by a manufacturer. So
I know one of the French companies did play around with rotaries back in like the 60s and 70s.
yeah. So and don't worry, Kit. Plenty of 240 dudes are going to be throwing Ks. Well, actually, Ks have been going into Miatas for a while. That's quite a popular swap.
Shows people have done front wheel drive rotary swaps.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, so one of those things, it's one of those ideas where it's like, I don't know if I'd actually ever go through with it because as we discussed earlier, Besim, I have no technical knowledge of working on vehicles or no ability to work on vehicles.
Did you show him the picture of you trying to fix the Cayenne with a hammer?
No, but we talked about the hammer.
Good. So long as it got brought up.
Yes. Yeah, but kind of an idea back in the day, it's like, all right, what would just piss off the most amount of people in one fell swoop? And that was to put a K-Series in a 60s Mustang and like actually make it legitimately fast to where it would be, 700 wheel horsepower. So it would still be a quick vehicle, but you piss off the Honda guys, you piss off the Ford guys, and just go from there.
Everybody's angry.
The end.
Perfect.
And probably make it worse if it was front wheel drive. So I mean,
A front wheel drive Mustang. Ooh.
What could have been with the probe? Oh, what could have been?
The world we live in today, cars and coffees would actually be places of communion rather than danger.
Yep.
Right.
You could take your kids to cars and coffee without living in fear.
Yeah.
And Taylor, the way part prices are, K-swapping the Viper is not a bad idea.
I could sell you a K for $1,000.
Let's put an L28 in there.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
You got
Dr.
that long
Viper.
of a home, might as well use it, right?
There you go. You're welcome, Trent. You're welcome.
Trent, do you want me to grab the valve cover for you again?
No,
You sure I can hold it up? I can show you the L28.
I'm sure you could.
I will donate that valve cover to your L28.
So Kit says
Wow.
Audi swap a BMW and make it a front-wheel drive Ute. Discuss.
Okay. I mean, so Sawzall and if we're Audi swapping it, why don't we all-wheel drive swap it?
Yeah, kid, does it have to be front wheel drive?
Okay, then let's
all-wheel drive.
let's put a better front-wheel drive setup in there. None of this German crap.
Okay, like a B series.
K series or like a J35 with a couple big ol' honking turbos on there, or just one real big one, like Busy did.
There you go.
There it is.
Okay, fine. My last comment here is if Trent thinks they should have front wheel drive the.
Don't come up with another mid-engine car or rear-engine car and tell me it should have been front-wheel drive. Go on.
Century or the President. If you think about it, Cadillac did it back in the 70s with the 500 cubic inch block in the Eldorado.
Uh-huh.
Should have been front wheel drive.
Okay.
Big honking V12 that's just 2 1J stuck together.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm in.
So you're going to make the Century or the Crown something that is
The
a
Century.
regular width vehicle about the width of a city bus to make this work.
Eldorado was the length of a fucking zip code.
I mean, it was an Iowa-class battleship, but that's neither here nor there.
What was it? 500 cubic inches is what, 8.4 or 8.6 or something?
Something like that. It was designed in the Victorian era to run on coal, and you had to yell down to the engine room when you wanted to stop or turn.
That's why it was so long. You had to shovel all the coal in from the trunk, you know?
Yeah.
You had to tell some poor Irish immigrants to stop shoveling coal into one boiler.
No, it all makes sense. This is why they're trying to bring back the subscription model for cars, because back then you'd have to pay someone to do it. It's full circle.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
a thing.
Paid labor is the same thing as subscription.
Zach, God, your mind is a wondrous, terrifying place.
I don't want to get into your head. I definitely don't.
Well, you can get me out of my head. I don't want to be here either.
So I guess
God.
new topic, but still on topic. What Saab was it that is the engine is longitudinally mounted but front wheel drive still?
Any of them?
AJ, jump in here. He's a Saab guru.
Yes.
Six Passat was that,
Is it? Oh, I can't remember. I think Moog from Mighty Car Mods had that Saab though, where the engine was longitudinally mounted but front wheel
I
drive.
want to say it was like a 900 or something,
I think that's
or something
right.
goofy.
So I mean that's an easy option. Why isn't that rear wheel drive?
Well, also like the clutch was where the clutch was on the front of the engine for some reason.
Yeah, like what is going on here? 900. Okay, yeah, that should have been rear wheel drive to begin with. I think that's an easy one to agree with.
That was
I'm
just
in on
like that was just Saab being weird for the sake of being
That
fucking
was Saab
weird.
taking real life as Forza Motorsport and thinking they can do whatever they want. Just for legal. It's gonna mean it.
just like BeamNG.
Yeah, the Saab 900 had a longitudinal mounted engine backwards. So I don't understand it.
Oh, am I just stupid? Oh, did I misunderstand the question?
What?
You think the Saab was?
You've misunderstood a lot of things in your tenure here, Zach, but it's okay. We still love you.
My entire life. Every time I talk to girls, it's impossible.
That's right, they're chain driven. What a weird car, the Saab 900.
Speaking of weird things, I would really like to see what Zach's dating game is like. Just trying to strike up a conversation with a girl. Like,
Well,
Okay. Andrew, hop in the chat. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. That's all I
we
got.
have We have to define what not bad means.
Hold on. Let me open up my Tinder, and I'll show you. I'm talking to several girls right now. Hold on, where the fuck is Tinder? Hold on, I don't know where.
Right.
See, there are several females there.
Hold up.
Okay,
There we go.
Okay.
No,
The
try
floor
that
is
again.
yours.
Let's see the screen.
Oh god, of course a girl messaging me literally right now. Fuck, okay, hold on, I'll deal with that in a minute. Not reading that one on air.
You'll deal with it now.
I am not dealing with that now. No.
God damn it, Zach.
But you can see
That's
there are
potentially one of your. Oh my
females in here. Not
Christ.
just one.
Have you just been hacking at your phone with a fucking screwdriver?
You love that?
God.
Automating the process of
Jacket
typing
on the
computer.
asphalt like this.
Jesus.
Hold on,
Christ.
where's your message? Hold on, what do you? Okay.
It's not bad, but some things aren't the best. Oh, there we. I think that's a. Well, I think those are some really good ones to leave on because I got to go clean up a fucking fryer. So
I will. While it's still on me, I will, for the sake of the show, I will show my Tinder profile because I am quite proud of it.
well, we all have that one thing.
Good photo of me.
Yeah, not bad.
Monolith for conversation starting.
There it is. Might need to switch that one out.
Me on a cool ledge.
Looking beefy.
Me around people, so it looks like I'm taller because I am taller.
Yeah, you.
All right.
Me writing a verse, and
I gotta
finally,
hop off for a
Hold
second.
up.
finally,
Okay.
a photo that Mike took. Mike, you are on my Tinder.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Why did you swipe through like 6 different photos to get to there?
Okay, me on a rock. Me in my truck looking like a dumbass. Oh, you can't really see it. There it is.
Well, to be fair,
The Trent leave. Okay, bye, Trent.
he said he had to be. He had to leave for a second. So,
My Bumble is only one other photo of me doing a wheelie.
oh boy. No.
Yeah.
Nobody should be proud of their Tinder profile. You know your bone when you have to classify a ledge as cool. You are just getting torched.
See that message that's the blue one right there? That's a girl messaging me right now. I'm gonna go.
Right ahead of JT. So were you showing us your Snapchat thing as well? Because why is JT on there?
Because I've been messaging JT. Because why not?
Okay, and JT's good people.
It's JT and then Matthew Bennett right below him, and then Will, and then of course Jackson's down there.
There's a lot of dudes on your recently messaged list.
Because I only talk to fucking guys. The next girl down is my ex right there at Ashley.
Christ.
And the next one before that is my other ex. Where the fuck is she at?
I think if we've learned anything today, it's like you should just not be talking to your past like that. Fucking
ex gave me this for Christmas. This is the most thoughtful thing I received all Christmas. Just saying.
okay.
Why am I on blast right now?
I don't know. I don't know why you're also like still big screen.
I don't know. I feel like the star of the show. Oh, you can't change it. Only I can change it. I have all the power.
I'm too drunk to come over there, but I will fight you next time I see you. There we go.
Can we end this now, or hold on? I got a date soon. See, look at that.
That seems more like shocked that Zach has a date soon.
Hold on. What?
Damn. You mean the bots messaging Zach?
Ow, that hurt me.
Aw.
Taylor, thank you, Taylor. See, I try to be cool and presentable. Not on this. I don't tell any of the females I talk to about this because
As you fucking shouldn't. I told my girlfriend that I'm doing this, and I kind of feel bad about it. We've been dating for 6 years. Man.
I don't even know. Okay, can we end this, or are we waiting for Trent to come back?
I have no idea. He said he would be back, but I kind of like if he's not back, I gotta go because I actually have to go like clean shit up.
I'm down.
I'm the new guy, so I'm just following your lead.
Cam girl bots don't count. AJ with the truth.
We had 2 of those so far. Just saying. You saw there was like 15 or 2 out of 15.
Well, I didn't really see a lot. The one I saw in great detail was your Snapchat, and that was a lot of dudes. So, you know. But whatever. I'm sure you've got game, Zach. You're despite everything, despite you've got a lot going for you. You're a handsome fella. You're funny. You're affable. If you don't talk too much, they don't know you're not that bright. You're good. You're good people. There you go. Damn it! In front of the fucking camera. There you go. All right. Is one of them called meme?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
God. All right.
She was 6'5", which I thought was pretty dope.
Fucking A, climb that tree, son.
They get this for the snap, guys.
There,
Full Snapchat.
there we go. Finally made it.
Snapchat, buddy, so I can message you more.
Yeah, add me. It's what is my name on Snapchat actually? Oh, it's
Yeah.
this is a real blast from the past. Supra HKS.
Whew.
I used to be a big Supra fanboy as a youngin.
I mean, who wasn't?
True.
Well, I won't.
Is your name Casey?
Yeah, that's my nickname, Basie.
Hold on, I'm going to
Yeah.
Snapchat you right now. Hold on.
Okay, you do that. Real quick, Besim, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I wasn't here for most of it, but
Oh,
you know,
Andrew's Snapchatting me now. Oh, fuck.
God damn it.
No,
Back
I
to my
guys. This is fun.
Good. Besim, where can the people find you if they want to find you on the social medias and the wider internet?
Well, as we know, Snapchat is Besim X Cars, but everywhere, or it's Super HKS. Everywhere else is just Besim X Cars. On YouTube primarily, and Instagram and Facebook. Facebook I'm not too active on for that stuff, but the big one's YouTube, Besim X Cars.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go. Zach, do you want to throw your stuff out there so the ladies can find you? You can be swimming in it.
Hey, Basim, I'll do a follow for a follow if you want. But I'm over at Zach Lords at 35mm. I post film content here and there. Actually, me and a longtime viewer, Chirp, are going to do a camera challenge. I think Mike might be part of as well too.
I'm part of it. Chirp says I'm going to hate him more, and I'm not sure how that's even possible.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Considering I'm taking dance lessons so I can literally dance on his grave.
Yeah. I'll be seeing more content like there. I do some car stuff there as well. So yeah, just go check me out.
Yeah. I am at mchanphoto. Try to give me a follow. It's probably not going to work because I don't know you. So there you go. The Bowl is Too Small on Instagram and Facebook. That's where I do cooking stuff. Nerding for Beginners. That's where me, Brandon, Glenn, you know him with the waifu wagon Volvo, and some other folk. We get together. We do some nerdy stuff. No, Zach was there for Zach, much like many of the other projects. He was there in the beginning, and then he just disappeared. This is somehow the one thing that he is stuck around for. Thanks, Zach. I need you to stay because I can't end this. There you go.
Well, yeah, go give us a listen on all of our platforms. I think we're on Apple Music now, or Apple, whatever the fuck we're calling it.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, maybe even Amazon Podcasts as well.
Hell yeah, that gives us actually a lot of help. We get an ad in the front of that, so we actually do make something of that because this is not free. I am already doing as much as I can. I've been fighting people on State Street at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I try to get the prime spot, but sometimes they get there before me, and I can only give so much. That's all I'm trying to say.
Zach's just out there being a shovel fighter. Follow us on all the platforms. If you haven't, like, rate, review, subscribe. All of that helps us gain heat, which means more people will see us when they open up their podcasting app of choice, and that will mean more people will watch and listen, and then we will be able to do more dumb stuff, like, I don't know, bigger bottles of bourbon.
There you go.
To keep this running.
I've gotta. Follow Cam on all of the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are at Cam Automag on the lot of them. Twitter kind of quiet now because race season's over. Instagram occasionally, somebody will get in the archives and post something or try to post up a story or whatever. Facebook, if you comment on something, if you comment something ridiculous, we will respond in kind because that's what we do. That's how it works.
A message that I send to Mike making fun of you, and we'll make fun of you in a private chat and then respond kindly.
There you go. And then, when did we determine was the custody hearing for you, Zach?
Oh shit, it's coming right up. I think it's the 11th. Is it next week?
It's in a couple of weeks, but we are determining who is going to be Zach's dad. So
it's still right here in my January 11th. Who is my dad?
There it is. So we are going to have Chirp. We're going to have Dave. We are going to have a whole bunch of people. We're going to have Zach from V12. We're going to have Brandon Christiansen come on, even if I have to drive down there and drag him up here so he is actually on the damn podcast. And yeah, we are going to determine who Zach's dad actually is.
Who else is going to be part of this? Besim, do you want to be my father?
I could be anyone's daddy. I mean, what?
Ooh, wow. So there we go. All right, Besim is throwing his hat into the ring. So the Camcast is going to return for a random episode. So your feed will have that. It's going to be glorious. And so there we go. I do want to mention we are going to be doing something for Twitch Thursday where I hop on Twitch and we all play a game. I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be, but it is going to be something on the PlayStation because that is what is currently hooked up here in the office. So there we go. It's going to be a special one. It's actually going to be New Year's Eve, so it's going to be fun. Might go a little later. Oh my god, Zach! Fucking hell! Zach created a group. Who is my dad? Oof, God in heaven. We need I wouldn't necessarily call them contestants.
Hold on.
And I'm explaining to
figures.
I'm explaining to Dayton Travis Monk. Shout out to you, Dayton. We've been exchanging like food stuff back and forth. He sent me a picture of this Japanese barbecue sauce that I have to now hunt down because the Mike's Hot Honey he told me to go get was really good. And now I'm explaining what QP mayo is to him. So, yep. Anyway, so oh god, okay, Kit, there we go. We got another one. Oh fucking hell! I will write down a list of who all is going to be there. I will post something more about Twitch Thursday, what we're actually going to be doing.
We should have a talk about this at some point off air.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing as how it's 9:00. So anyway, alrighty. So for on behalf of Cam Shenanigans, thank you for joining us, everybody. Andrew, AJ, Kit, Tayor, the Centaur. Think I forgot. I did not forget. Never forget Tayor.
Tayor.
Anyway, for this episode of Camp Shenanigans, I have been Mike.
I have been Zach.
I'm Besim.
All right. We will see you next week.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on.